all control. Gravity is all that I know. She's over me. She's over me. She comes me with her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday live edition, YouTube-only edition of the Paranormal Portal. I'm Brent Thomas, your host, and I've had a hell of a night. I'm all frazzled, but as it's Wednesday, before I go any further, without further ado, let me welcome my great friend and co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard, who's chugging some swill first, but
obviously got something drinking going down. That's the way it goes. Hey, welcome to Hump Day Eve. Glad you made it through the week, because it's been a hell of one.
It's really been kind of a conundrum. I've just had a hell of a night. It's just, wow.
Yeah.
We got done mowing the yard, and I'm all hot and sweaty, and I'm like, oh, you know what, I'll come up, go to the studio, get some stuff ready for the show. And then next, I must have been up here 5 minutes maybe. And next thing I'm hearing, I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? I've never heard this sound before, so this is a new one. And I open up the studio door, and my wife's carrying my child up the stairs. Help me. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Oh my God. I'm just, it's like, it's like, so I'm just like, what's going on? And, it turns out that a peanut will fill up a child's nostril. And my child tried it and proved it. However, they go in, but they don't come out real well. So he had a whole peanut lodged in his nostril, and I don't know how he did it. Not sure how or why. I don't know why he did it, but he did it. So peanut will fill up a toddler's nostril. And
it's not funny.
No, it is. It's hilarious, actually, now. At the time, it was just like, And I tried the tweezers. I tried to get it out, and then his poor little nose started bleeding. And so he's totally like hyperventilating. Not really. I mean, like, he's just totally freaking out because he doesn't know what's going on, but he knows we're not really happy about it, and he knows he's not really happy about it. So then he starts crying, and he's crying. He's like, and he sucks in his nose. I'm like, oh. So he's like exhaling through his mouth and sucking in through his nose. I'm like, ah. But so it was then time to let a professional handle it. So that's why we're coming to you late tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is after the peanut-ectomy, which was, it was really kind of slick. I don't know. And I'm sure part of it was the fact that, you go to the emergency room and you sit around. Well, he quit crying. He started relaxing, mellowing out. And I'm sure the mucus was flowing in his nose, so it probably started coming down at least quite a bit. And then the doctor literally put his finger to his nose and went like this. And there was peanut shot out like a Pez dispenser. And I was like, well, there you have it.
Well, enough said. As a matter of fact, nothing was said.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I don't know what the bill's going to be, but oh my God. So that's been my evening. And that's why we're late. So I apologize we're late, but sometimes life just happens and you can't always prepare for it. You don't always know what the hell's going to happen. So Yeah, peanuts are evil, Sarah. You're right, and they will no longer be on the menu around here unless they're in the form of butter, peanut butter. Yeah, it was just like, really.
Taz says, just saw a video. Hold down the child and blow through the mouth. Yeah, that's what I've been told too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you just giving them CPR just one way, and hopefully it shoots out and hits you in the side of the face. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I guess, but
Paranormal peanuts.
Yeah, we've yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, it was a hell of a night. So I mean, I'm just beside myself a little bit. I'm okay. He's okay. Everybody's okay, but it's just one of those things. It's like I didn't know what the hell was going on. It's like my wife's just frantic because, of course, this is her baby. This is her little infant. It's my baby too. Don't get me wrong, but this isn't my first rodeo. I've seen him do all kinds of stupid things from my other kids. I mean, I've seen him just do things like, why would you do that? But my wife and I now, this is her first child. This is my third child. So it's like, for her, it was just like,
oh my God,
he's broken. Oh no, this is not okay. And so she was totally frantic. And granted, I mean, I understand, I get it. And I was, certainly concerned. But once she told me that it was a peanut, it's like, okay, all right, we're fine. It's not like it's a razor blade. It's not like it's some kind of weird tool he got up his nose. It's a peanut. And we know it went in, so if it went in, it probably will come out okay. So I just relaxed, and it turned out okay. But, yeah, it wasn't the way I wanted to spend my first part of my evening. And but then again, it worked out just fine, and we're just wonderful. So, legumes. I guess it is a legume, isn't it? A peanut is. It's like a bean.
God dang it! You just had to say it.
I didn't. It was done.
You said it out loud.
Oh, okay.
You gave voice. You gave it vibration in the
I manifested it into the vibration of sound.
Oh my goodness! Now it's float. Look, there it goes.
Yep, it started. It's just. What is it?
No D.
When the snowball reaches the 28 degrees,
point,
it rolls and you can't stop it.
It does. It just goes.
Yep. Mm. So there you go. I don't even know. I mean, so we're just kind of winging it here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I plan to have a much more robust show, but we don't usually plan a whole lot here in the portal anyway, so it's just about normal. So, I don't know.
Oh, gracious.
Don, how you been?
I've been good. It's been a struggle this week. Hot, sticky, tired, not wanting to go to work. But today I had a blast of a day.
Oh, good.
Yep. I listened to 3 bands all day.
Yeah.
I listened to Rush, Jethro Tull, and Judas Priest.
Very cool.
And
all right.
cut 50 pounds of onions.
Oh, yeah. You got a love affair with those things.
God.
But, it's all for the... It's all for the long haul. 50 pounds of onions is just a whole.
That was only half of them.
Yeah, well, you said you got
50
100 pounds
to cut through.
I appreciate your tenacity on that deal. I just go buy them as I need them.
Well, I've got bags of caramelized onions now, and frozen onions, and onions that can be used, and onions that I have onions.
I think it was Dawn that was talking a long time ago to me about how she preps up bags of hamburger.
Oh, well,
she'll brown it with some onions and just put them in the freezer and just do a bunch and then just put them in the freezer, and then there's so many dishes you can apply that to. And I thought, wow, that's really brilliant. But I don't know. I don't plan that far ahead. I mean, I really don't. So not that we're here to talk about anybody's food, but I just thought that was interesting. So.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, it's dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's always about me. No,
yeah, I'm just still trying to get my legs under me and try to pull a show out of this, out of this fiasco of a night. So I hope you guys are doing great. And as Don said, happy Hump Days Eve.
Yes.
You made it. You're on the way to the weekend. Things are going the right direction. Isn't that the whole Back to the 50s thing this weekend here?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's right.
And then I'm supposed to go to another show. One of the bands that played Saturday is playing again this Saturday.
Oh.
I can't make it because I got to work, and then I've got the show that I'm dedicated to.
You are dedicated, brother.
Yes.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
there will be no No accepted excuses for absences.
No local music gigs for you, mister. Hey, hit that like button. There's
That's
15 people and 8 likes. We're 7 behind, people.
Oh, Don's getting
Come on
awful
now.
militant about this whole like thing. No, we do like it when you guys do that because it's definitely, again, I know I've told you a bunch times, but apparently YouTube promotes videos based upon how many people are liking it. So the more likes, of course, the more they're going to promote it in just general searches and stuff. So that have to, be on the topic.
But we also have to have like 10,000 more.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as long as the people that are watching it are liking it, we're doing well. I mean, in my book, if we have, let's say we have 100 views, and I'd love to get 100 likes for 100 views.
Yeah.
But we never really get the likes on the after, and I'm guilty of this too, because I'll go through 50 to 100 videos, and I'll watch one, click on another one, watch another one, and I don't remember to click the damn like, so I'm guilty of it as well. So I don't take that away from anybody, but it really does help the creators. So
That would be us.
well, in this case, it's us, yeah. So tonight we're going to go through some paranormal mayhem again, talk about some encounter stories. Of course, I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, I apologize for the late start, but here we are. The portal is engaged, and we are in what the hell is this? Oh, I didn't mean that. My Google search was all screwed up. I was doing some searches on promotional things.
Man,
What?
I told you about what happened with my phone, didn't I?
Well, I know the battery sucks, but what?
No, the battery's fine now because I figured out what was wrong with it.
What was wrong?
Well, okay, I didn't figure out what was wrong with it, but when I pulled it out of my pocket the other night, when I went to look at what time it is, it says, please do not stop this process. So naturally, what I do?
Oh, that's right. You did tell me
Yeah,
about
I
that.
tried to stop the process. Come to find out, it did a full factory reset, and I had to reload everything.
Oh, yeah. But is the battery working normally?
Yeah, the battery's working much better.
What was eating up the battery before?
I have no idea, but the factory reset fixed it.
Oh, well, there you go. It must have been you must have had some app that was just burning.
I don't
Burning
know.
the battery.
I don't know, but I mean, like, I was sweating it. I'm like at work, and I'm like, what time is it? Is anybody trying to get a hold of me? I'm going through withdrawals. Where's my phone? Why is my phone doing this? And I'm like, no, I got to stop doing this because I'm at work. I got my pocket.
So you almost bricked it, huh?
Oh, I almost bricked it. Yeah, that would have been fun.
Wow. Well, there you go. At least it's working now.
It is. Yeah.
I know with like iPhones, you gotta. That's what I have is an iPhone, and it's like a 5. I got an old iPhone, but you think you're closing stuff, but you're not. And so if you double click that circle, then it'll pull up this row that you have to pan through to see everything that's still running in memory. And you have to close all those things manually by wiping them off the screen. And then it'll be shutting those things down. But everything you open on an iPhone stays running until you do that double click thing and tell it to shut down that part.
Yeah, on Android, you hit
sucks.
the little square, and then it pops up all the windows that are open. You just start hitting the X.
Same kind of thing then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, let's go to some mayhem stories here.
Oh,
and,
mayhem, yes.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we can get into here. Scariest thing ever to happen to me involves an urban legend in my hometown. Holy ad. Look at this, Don. My whole screen got hijacked by this ad.
Nice.
It's a Cayman Islands ad, which is, lovely and all that, but not what I'm looking for the show.
Well, if we could be doing the show from the Cayman Islands.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and your support can sure help. So we'd love to broadcast live from the Cayman Islands sometime. That'd be wonderful. In a good way, as long as we're not like fugitives or something.
Yeah, no doubt.
By the way, we will no longer be using the term nunks.
Lady Death just died.
It has come to my attention. Now I need to qualify this because I was reading a story about a nun, and then I started talking about monks and nuns and how they devote, and I misspoke once and said nunk, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cute. It's a nun or a monk, and I thought it was kind of an androgynous term that could be humorous. I've since, ladies and gentlemen, found out that apparently a nunk. Thank you, Lady Death, for this education. A nunk is apparently, and forgive this, but it's apparently a hairy scrotum sack. So I will no longer be referring to anybody as a nunk here on the portal. My apologies to anybody I offended prior to this. I had no idea.
Oh, it was Vamp. Yeah, sorry. It was Vamp.
It was Vamp. Okay, sorry. My apologies, Vamp. thank you, Vamp, for pointing this out and educating us on the truth of the nunk. And I just would like to call everybody's attention to the fact that Don proudly called himself a nunk many times on that show.
Oh boy.
He was going to be a Jedi nunk or something like that, wasn't he?
Oh boy.
No, I'm just kidding. But I do apologize. I don't ever mean to be crude or crass, and I had to come clean about that because it's the way of the portal, and you guys are family. You deserve an explanation. I'm not one of those parents that say, because I told you so. I always try to give an explanation. So.
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
All right. So if you're eating pot roast, put it down and stop choking on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and don't throw peanuts up your nostrils no matter what.
Don's gonna design a shirt. Don't be a nunk. Watch Paranormal Portal.
Paranormal Portal, the nunk-free zone.
The nunk-free zone.
There you have it.
Oh goodness. Oh jeez.
Yeah, there you have it. So I just remembered I wanted to address that, and this has been the first opportunity since I watched it on the MeWe chat, and I was like, oh, jeez, really? That's what it means? Oh, derp, Gilligan. So. Scariest thing to happen to me involves an urban legend in my hometown. This happened around 6 years ago. Didn't I read this one? Yes, I did. I read this one on the last show. Oh, next story. This story I'm about to tell is completely true. Excuse me. Having said that, there are some disclaimers I will add at the end. About 3 years ago, I moved to the city I'm living in now to go to school. Before I moved, I was living about 1,400 kilometers west, working as a pump tech. The month before I moved, I had to make a few trips back and forth to finalize everything, find an apartment, etc. Anyway, what happened took place on one of the return trips. It was late night, and I was almost home, about 2 hours away. Now, this was only my second time making this return drive. Wait, I read this one too. This is the GPS.
Oh, yeah, that's
GPS
right.
from
It
hell.
goes everywhere, and she goes to the vacant or the lot with the old broken down. Yeah, that was a good story. The first
remind
two
myself
times.
yeah, well, it would have been fine again, except, yeah, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Not twice in a row.
That's my night. This is not one I haven't read.
These are very haunting tales.
They were so haunting it repeated itself. I live in Mississauga, and I have a Hungarian kavaz named K2, the famous peak in Pakistan. After the famous peak in Pakistan. I don't know what a kavaz is. What the hell is a kuvaz? Kuvaz. Is that a dog? I gotta wait for Don to Google this. Kuvaz.
It's a 5-letter word. No. What is it? KUV?
Kuvaz.
Z. Okay, sorry. Somebody's probably right. Yeah, it's a dog.
Okay.
It's obviously looks like a mix between a poodle and Samoyed.
Okay. So it's named K2. I go for daily walks every day with him, once in the morning and once at night. Most nights are pretty uneventful except when K2 stops in front of a bench near a thickly wooded area and just stares at it. At first I tried to ignore it, thinking K2 just sits there for a rest or there are squirrels nearby. However, lately I've been noticing K2 getting pretty aggressive at the bench like it does when it's about to fight another dog. I try to ignore it, but one day K2 starts barking really loudly and drags me to fight whatever it's seeing. Now this is pretty dangerous, especially during the winter as it's brutal in Canada, and if I slip in the snow, there's no one to help me. I had to use all my energy to drag him away from that area, and I was kind of spooked and kind of excited. I asked my dad, who believes in paranormal stuff, how to deal with this, and he said, if there is paranormal stuff going around, then it is best for you to either change your walking route or go talk to it and tell it that we mean no harm. Naturally, I chose the later because I like walking in the forest as it's so peaceful, and walking through that bench area is the only way to get to it. Me and K2 went, and when we got to the bench, I said loudly, "Peace be upon you. We mean you no harm. If you can walk away whenever my dog is around, I would greatly appreciate it." I kid you not. This thing actually got up and left. I can tell you because K2's head was moving wherever this thing was moving. I was so scared at that point, but it was worth it in the end, as it made the walking that much more peaceful. However, lately, whenever my dog gets fixated on something in the house, I get pretty scared. That is, that's a very cool thing, and that's something we've certainly talked about on the show. Talk to them. Talk to these things. If you believe there's an entity around, and more times than not, you're going to be right, because I really believe we are literally swimming in a realm of spirituality. Like, there's always something around somewhere. And if you look into the legends and lore of nature, I mean, every plant has its own spirit. And it also has like a guardian spirit, like sylphs and nymphs and all of these nature spirits that are all around. And so, addressing these things, give respect, speak to the earth. And the Native Americans, have a belief in the air and the water and the earth all having its own spirit. It's alive.
Check your
and
connection.
Why?
We're having buffering issues.
I don't know. Let me look.
How's it look? Are we in?
The stream health is crap.
Ah.
Yeah, the stream health is really crap. Video output is low. Let me close some stuff here.
It's stuttering. The video's stuttering.
Is it? Are people seeing that, or are you just seeing that?
I'm
gonna close
pretty sure.
Facebook.
Well, I'm on the same channel they are. So
Look at that. Chrome is just being a douche. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mean to use raw words.
You already said Harry Scrotum.
Yeah, well, scrotum. Yeah, there you go. But hopefully this picks up. Let me close. I really didn't prep like I normally do for the show. So in this case, I think it's my fault that I just didn't have time to get everything ready that I normally would have. But I'm trying to close things here. I can close Skype because we're not using that tonight. Let's see. Everything's closed there. Can close this. Okay. I don't know. I've closed several things. What is... See, now this says the stream...
Yeah, now it looks good.
Doing good there. Let's see. I mean, YouTube can be kind of particular.
No way. Hey, yeah, Pixie, we saw that video about the strange shockwave. It was like a 3 on the Richter scale, and it took like 13 minutes to get from like Minnesota or somewhere like that
18
to the
minutes
West Coast.
across the continental U.S.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
And now, when you were saying 5G, was that in reference to that?
Oh, well, maybe, yeah. I mean, it wasn't a.
It shouldn't be, though, because even if it is, if it was a energetic pulse from something like that, it certainly would have crossed the nation in just a second or two. If it was an energy pulse like that, but it was something that was picked up by the seismographs,
right,
which detect
wind towers.
Huh? They were wind towers?
Wind towers, GWEN.
Yeah, I know.
Ground wave.
Yeah,
ground wave energy something network or something like that.
But it definitely went from east to west. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about is apparently on the 12th, there was the USGS. There's a way you can look up seismographs all over the U.S., and a gentleman put together a video, and it's linked. I linked it on our YouTube, or Facebook.com/Paranormal Portal Radio page, and you can see the video there. But the gentleman was able to track this weird wave of like a tremor or something going through the continental U.S. from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Craziness.
And it made the journey, and you can see on the way it's hitting all these different seismographs, and it made the journey from Maine all the way over to California or Oregon in 18 minutes. So it was certainly faster than any flight that we're familiar with, unless it could be extraterrestrial, of course, and that it's passing. But it was an energetic wave within the Earth, causing a tremoring as it went. I don't know. Very strange though. And
BP Earthwatch. We know BP Earthwatch. That's awesome. That's an awesome website.
Is that
I should have checked BP Earthwatch.
Yeah, we should have. But it is linked, Dory. It's linked on our Facebook page, the Paranormal Portal Facebook page. So check it out. It's really interesting, really quite phenomenal, and great catch, Pixie. I don't know how that came to your attention, but that was something that she pointed out, and it was really, really spectacular. But definitely defying normal explanation anyway, in that it's not an earthquake, because it occurred across the entire U.S.
without losing force.
Yeah, it didn't lose any of its intensity. It stayed at about what would normally. It was equivalent on the seismograph of what it would be if it was like a 3 on the Richter scale, a tremor, but it was only 1. It didn't repeat, and once it passed, that was it. But it crossed the U.S. in 18 minutes, so it was definitely some kind of shift all the way across. So very cool, very weird. Definitely look into it, yeah. And any of you others that are interested in it, do that. Oh yes, Mr. M. That might be the one, Sarah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Mr. MBB333. Yeah. So very cool, very bizarre. I don't pretend to know what it is, but it's certainly pretty incredible.
No, Lewis, if it was a bomb that was detonated, it would have lost its intensity as it came across the states.
Even a nuke wouldn't trigger seismographs all the way across the country.
No, not at the same intensity.
No. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's probably a better way to say it, but I don't think even if it was, I don't even think it's possible for a nuke to do that from coast to coast to create a tremor that the whole continental U.S. would feel.
Right. Oh.
Sorry, I had to take a drink there, but yeah, very cool. Very cool. Did I finish that story? Or?
Yeah, because you were talking about woodland nymphs and
right. Oh yeah, so addressing spiritual things with respect, and certainly pay homage to the spirits of all things as you pass anywhere, and that will certainly put you in good graces, I would think, with pretty much all of them, unless they just hate everything. The dark spirits, things that just don't like us at all, then there's not much you can do. But I just think it's a great way to be.
Taz is asking about wisps.
Wisps, will-o'-the-wisps. Those are like the floating lights or whatever.
Yeah, she says silky-looking, mesmerizing floating objects. What could they be?
What could they be? They could be. Now, here's the interesting thing. No, there's definitely. Now, here's the thing. I've read tons of accounts of people seeing this, and honestly, I've actually had an encounter with something that seems similar to that, but different. Now, there are many people that notice these wisp-like, these little like ghostly balls of light, and that's the best I can say, to describe what they are. And they seem to move with purpose and with some kind of intelligence. They're not just random, fluttering this and that. It's these weird, I don't know, almost like balls of plasma, I guess is the way most people describe them. Now, here's the thing. There was a couple of Sasquatch researchers that were out in a what was allegedly a hot spot. And I don't remember many of the details of the story, but what I do remember is they were looking for Bigfoot. They were looking for, to capture some kind of evidence of Bigfoot in this area. Now, the cool thing is that what ended up happening is they were in this area walking down this trail near their campsite when they came across this blue floating ball of light. And it was just in front of them. And they, of course, had flashlights and stuff, but they were like, their flashlights were low just to watch the ground in front of them. And they saw this blue ball of light appear and the path in front of them. And they were like, whoa, what is that? And they made a noise, and they said suddenly a second ball appeared, and they heard a pop, and both of the balls disappeared, but what stood in their place now was these little goblin-looking creatures that were suddenly charging straight at these two researchers.
Huh.
Now, the only thing they could do was just like, they figured, well, we could run, but, let's try to intimidate them. So they grabbed their flashlights and said, hey. And once the light hit them, they became balls of light again. It was like the light popped them out of that goblin type of presence and floating around again. And they had to deal with these all night until sunrise.
Wow.
And every time these things would manifest, they would start charging, and they would hit them with the beam of their flashlight, and they would turn back into balls of light again.
Huh.
And then once the morning light came, of course, then it was done.
Wow.
And yeah, they were just absolutely perplexed because these were two Bigfoot researchers. They didn't know what to do with this. And you can learn more about this. I think it's on Sasquatch Chronicles, and that's Wes Germer's site. And that's where I think I heard of this account.
Right.
Now, there is another account of people that were studying these weird ghost lights, and they were up on a rise looking at a valley below them. Now, here's the thing. They were using night vision goggles. Now, if you're at all familiar with night vision goggles with like Generation 1 and 2, it looks like a green field in front of you. I mean, you can see the details and stuff, but it's all in shades of green. And Don, you can vouch for this because we've gone out and looked through my night vision.
Yep.
And so there's only one color. They're monochromatic. So these people were up on this rise looking into these developments of UFOs possibly, or these weird balls that they believe might be correlating with UFOs. Now, what happened to them is incredibly interesting because as they were recording this valley below them, this wooded valley below them, they saw through the night vision scope, and they were recording, they saw these, I think, red or blue balls appear and move around through the trees and up above the trees and down and shooting all around. Now, the interesting thing is, again, remember, night vision is monochromatic and only green scale. But even the recording of this was blue.
Wow.
It recorded blue. And that their technicians, and they brought it to the lab of the company that made the equipment, and they said this shouldn't be possible. So for some reason, whatever this ball was that they were recording actually defied the mechanical operation of this machine.
Wow.
A night vision scope. And it recorded, and it's out there again. And I don't have like clickable links to offer you guys for this, but all this information is out there. Okay. And you have to do the research. But that is really interesting. Now, what I had seen is a bit different. I've never seen these dancing balls out in the forest. And again, they're about baseball, softball, sometimes basketball-sized balls. But they seem to be in the woodlands mostly, around nature areas. And I would probably say that there's something akin to nature spirits, nature guardians, or some kind of of the natural realm. And I don't know. They seem to have a sentience to them. They seem to have an intelligence. But what I experienced was different. I was driving. It was about 2:30 in the morning, and it was when I was back in high school. And a buddy of mine, we used to I wasn't in the partying and drinking stuff, so this buddy of mine and I, we were pretty much always hanging out. So we went out and we're just driving around, and the town we lived in was a very small town, and there wasn't a whole lot going on ever. So at about 2 or 3 in the morning, it was just like, there were street lights and a lot of sleeping people. There was just no people on the roads or anything. So we're driving through this residential area, and suddenly I see up I'm driving, and I look up and ahead of me at about, the 11 o'clock position, and I see this flaming ball. Now, it's a flaming ball. It's like it's on fire, and it's moving, but it's flaming. It's not like flaming up as normally heat would do, but the flame is like a trail following it. So it's dragging this trail of what looks like orange flames, but it's moving incredibly slowly. So it looks like it would be flying, like, oh my God, it's going so fast the flames are following it. But it was moving at about, 10, 15 miles an hour. But it was just lazily crossing the sky in front of us. And again, this is about a baseball-sized object. And it didn't come down. It didn't go up. It just followed this plane it was on, and it kept going. Now, I wanted to keep following it, but my buddy was absolutely freaked out. I said, dude, let's go check that out. He's like, no, let's go. Let's get out of here. So being the friend that I was, I decided, okay, we're,
getting the hell out.
I didn't want to freak him out. And I really wasn't freaked out. I was really, really, really curious. And to this day, it kills me that I don't know what that was. But it was a strange anomaly that just occurred in the sky, and I have no explanation for it. It never consumed itself. It never dropped sparks or ash or anything. It was just this ball of what looked like flames, and it was just lazily passing in the sky in front of us. And it just went out of sight over on the side, and then we just continued on our way. So I assume that could be some form of a wisp, but I don't know.
Well, the reason she asked is because she said she saw 2 of them on the day her brother passed over.
Ooh, that's powerful.
And let me get back up here to where she typed that in at. I think she said she was out walking in her neighborhood or something. Let's see. It was on a walk through my neighborhood. Never seen it before. Gosh, it's hard to follow this chat sometimes because these people talk.
Well, that's a pretty cool cool thing, though, because there are many accounts of people encountering loved ones who had recently passed.
Right.
There was, I think it was on one of the ghost story shows, and this person had lost their uncle to a suicide. And she was all bothered and perplexed because she loved this uncle dearly. They were very close. And she was all stressed out because I think she was Catholic. And of course, suicide would be the mortal sin. You don't do that. That's about as bad as it gets. And she was all just beside herself and torn because she thought that her uncle would be, in purgatory or in hell or something for, having ended his own life. But as she was sitting there in her bedroom, this golden ball appeared. And it drifted closer and closer and was basically, a foot away from her. And then suddenly it became an apparition of her uncle. And he said, "Don't worry about me. I'm wonderful. Everything is fine. And I love you. And everything is great. Don't worry. It's over." And then it was soon after that, it just disappeared and was gone. So that loved one had originally appeared as a orb, a large orb of golden light. So.
Huh.
I think that's a wonderful experience. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Well, she said she wanted to reach out and touch it, but she thought that it would be better not to disturb them.
Good for you.
And
I agree.
Yeah. They remind me of the things in Avatar or a wisp that I've heard of.
Right.
So that's what she says. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's actually kind of awesome. So, yeah.
Huh.
Well, yeah. There you go.
Lady Death says a will-o'-the-wisp, or ignis fatuus, medieval Latin for foolish fire, is an atmospheric ghost light seen by travelers at night, especially over bogs, swamps, and marshes.
Foolish fire.
That's very cool. Thank you, lady. Appreciate that.
Yeah, because and that's very interesting because. Sometimes they say they lead you to your destiny, or sometimes they say they lead you to your doom.
Yeah.
And as it says here, especially over bog, swamps, and marshes,
Yeah, exactly. And
don't follow the little lights.
Yeah, the will-o'-the-wisp is legendarily were tricking people to get lost in the forest.
Right.
That was one of the warnings. Should you see the will-o'-the-wisp, don't follow it. And actually, it was Wes Germer on Sasquatch Chronicles that was talking about going out and looking for these balls of light because there was an area. He lives in Washington State, and I'm not really sure what part, but I'm sure he's over by the Olympic Peninsula somewhere, I imagine. But
Olympic Peninsula, that's where I was born.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
Yep. And and he was talking about he and his brother actually went out pursuing them, and they saw them, and they chased them. And then they ended up getting chased by them.
Wow.
So they were chasing them around, and then suddenly it was like the wisp got pissed and started chasing them. And they said they got the hell out of there. So, and I don't know if you're familiar with Wes Germer or not, but he's, of course, got the Sasquatch Chronicles show, and it's a phenomenal show. But he's also, he used to be a bouncer, and, he's a big guy, so he's not the type to just, run around like, oh, my God, it's scaring me, So it was... It must have been pretty impressive, I guess, to make him run away.
Huh.
I don't know. Very cool, though.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it when you guys participate so much in the shows. It makes it so awesome. Me love you long time.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
We have 18 likes and 22 watching. Let's see. That's
all right.
19, 20, 21, 22.
And we picked up another subscriber, so God bless you. Who came to the show? Who is it? It's Christy Love.
Oh.
Love you, Christy.
Hi, thank you.
We love you, too.
You get 2 thumbs up from us.
4. I'll give her 2. And you got 2.
All right, well, there you go. Can I borrow somebody else's thumb?
Hey. I don't want to know where that's going.
Hi, Shannon. How are you? Nice to see
Shannon.
you again. She was one of our new ones on
very cool.
Saturday.
Love you, too. Glad you're here. Lots of hearts. You guys are so amazing. We got the greatest audience ever.
Yeah, they're oh my God. I was talking, well, before the show we were having the technical and difficulties and just everybody, well, the ones in the The ones in the MeWe chat were just like, "What's going on?" Sorry, everybody. The flux capacitor went down.
Well, the flux capacitor was fine. It was just the peanut in the nostril of my little one.
It wasn't my place to tell that story.
No, I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I thank you very much. But yeah, my little guy, in case you missed it, he decided to see if a peanut will actually fit up his nostril, and it turns out it could, but he couldn't get it out. And neither could I, and so we went to the emergency room. So that pushed us back a little bit. But yeah, he's just 2. He's going to be 3 in July. So he's just at that point where he just gets into everything. He's just so excited about everything. Mm-hmm. And I guess he's led a pretty graceful life because he has never really been sick or been hurt or anything. He's done really well, but this was the first time, and he was a little freaked out. But we made it. But that did push the portal back a little bit tonight. So I do apologize. But like I said, sometimes family happens and life happens, and we'll just roll with it. But I promise you, even if we're late, we'll make sure we never do rebroadcasts and we never skip out on shows. So
there may be a time we might need to go on vacation.
Well, yeah, if that ever happens.
To Tahiti for Mai Tais.
Well,
go visit Obake.
Then we'll just live stream from there, drunk.
Yeah, with Obake.
That's Oahu, not Tahiti.
Whatever.
He's in Hawaii.
Whatever.
I'm just trying to say.
All
right, not hating. I'm not hating.
I just mean to say.
I'm sure glad I got this fan, though. Are you baking over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a fan. I picked up a fan this week. I was just like, nope. But I'm up here all the time, and it's hot, and even when I'm not doing the show. So
it's hard being sexy.
It is. Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. If I say anything, I sound like a jerk, so I'll just shut up. You can
just say, okay, Don, thanks.
Well, thanks, Don.
I know you notice.
I don't want to redefine our friendship yet.
Let's keep it in the box.
I will tell you, though, that having air blowing in my eyeballs is kind of drying them out, though. I got to get re-aim this a little bit. But anyway, let's continue on. Thank you for those comments and those questions, because
yeah, that was awesome.
That's really fun to explore, things that come to your guys' mind, too. I mean, we're just winging it. So if you guys got things to bring to the table, be sure to let us know in the chat, and we'll deal with it. Unfortunately, it's Wednesday night, so just so everybody knows, on Wednesday night streams, the call-in number does not work, so don't call the call-in number. It won't work on Wednesday nights because we are not connected to the network and, iHeart, TuneIn, TalkStream, TFR Live. This is just a YouTube-only stream on Wednesdays, so it's like a private dance for you guys.
It is, yeah, because we're your private dancers. Never mind.
Wow. And the entertainment's free, ladies and gentlemen.
Goodness. You just had to say that.
I don't. I'll think ahead more carefully.
Free association.
All right. So continuing on. Did we get through? Yeah, we got through that one. Okay. One night when I was 10, I was asleep in bed and was woken up by my bedroom door opening, then someone sitting on my bed. I felt the gaze on my leg. The graze on my leg, and then the bed sink as they sat. Thinking it was just my mom having something to tell me, I opened my eyes only to see a pale, eyeless, just black, empty sockets boy who seemed to be my age sitting at the foot of my bed with his legs crossed, staring at me, or facing my direction since he had no eyes. He then reached his hand toward me, and he was holding what looked like a little black box. I was freaked out, but I reached out to grab it. He hesitantly pulled back. I reached out further for it and said, "Give it." As I did so, I blinked, and by the time I reopened my eyes, he was gone. The spot on the bed where he was sitting lifted back into place, but the imprint of someone sitting there was still present. I told my mom in the morning, and she was slightly freaked out, but assured me I was just dreaming. Fast forward 5 years. I had my girlfriend over to do some homework. After homework, she took a nap, and while she waited for her parents to pick her up. When they arrived, I tried waking her to let her know. I nudged her, and she opened her eyes. So sudden, already looking in the direction of the corner of the room where the wall meets the ceiling, lifting her finger and pointed. and as fast as she woke, she fell asleep again. I attempted to wake her again, and she came to full consciousness, and I asked her what the hell that was about and explained what she just did. She said, "Oh, I thought I was dreaming, but up on the wall I saw a little boy with no eyes just there in a Spider-Man pose staring at me." That's when I freaked out and told her the story for the first time of when I saw what I guessed was the same kid. Fast forward another 5 years, still with the same girlfriend, and by this time we have a 2-year-old daughter. We were living in my old bedroom at my parents' house. My daughter would wake up at the same time every night and start talking. For a while we thought it was a normal baby thing until I noticed it was almost the same conversation every night. I playfully asked her one night who she was talking to every night, and she responded, "The little boy. He talks to me. He's nice." Sorry. He's lost and looking for his mommy. I told my mom what happened the next morning, and before I got to tell her what I thought, she said, "I remember when that happened to you, then your girlfriend. I have no idea what that is." By then, neither my girlfriend nor I have seen the little boy after our first encounter, but my daughter continued her nightly conversations until we got our own place later that year. Weird.
The Spider-Man pose. Huh?
The Spider-Man pose, yeah. Just kind of up there. I assume he was just kind of wedged in the corner. Very creepy. But if you've got no density, you can do stuff like that. You got no density, you can do things that normal people can't, I guess. All right. Did you have any stories, Don, you wanted to?
You know, I've been looking. My mouse is officially dead now. So, but yeah, you know what? I found a story here from my favorite website.
Was that a battery thing, by the way, or is it the mouse itself?
No, I think it's just I think it's just dead. The thing's probably like 6 years old.
Okay.
No big deal.
It is to me, Don, because I care.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, my little mouthy died. This one's called Friendly Blue Orb.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Let's hear about it.
This is one of my first physical experiences with the paranormal that can't really be explained. When I was 15, my sister and I shared a room at one corner of the house. We decided to open the windows to enjoy the summer weather and listen to the frogs that were down by the river. Chris Farley just popped in my head.
In a van.
Looking out the window, we saw a blue light down by the gravel road. We simply thought that there was someone down walking there because teens went to the river to drink all the time, so we thought nothing of it. We laid down to sleep, and Amanda dozed off right our way. I was lying there almost daydreaming when I decided to get up and look out the window again. I dearly love summer nights in the country. So do I. Mm-hmm. As I looked out, I saw the blue ball of light again. It started moving up the road, then crossed over the fence, then moved through the trees. It was moving lazily, but not fast enough for someone that was walking with a light. Then it dawned on me that it was moving over a tree, and it was a perfect orb. I'd never seen anything like it before, but it was beautiful. It lazily drifted up through the field towards the house. By now I could see it clearly, and it was at least 10 feet off the ground. 10 feet, I'm sorry. It was at least 10 feet around. It was clearly around. It was quite clearly because of it was so bright. Okay? It just kept coming closer and closer to the house, and I could see that it was roughly the size of a grapefruit. What? Okay. Went from 10 feet to a grapefruit. It was then that it reached my window, just hovering there. I didn't freak out or feel scared at all. I cannot express how beautiful it looked. The light was bright, yet you could look right through it without squinting. I was so caught up with it and curious that I didn't even think to wake Amanda up. At this point, it started coming through the screen. Admittedly, I didn't exactly know what was going to happen, and at that point wanted a comfort anchor. So I jumped into bed and pulled the covers up, but the blue orb was still there.
Ooh.
It came fully into the room and floated over to my bed, just hanging there. I had a staring contest with it, almost. There was a bit of an anxious feeling, but nothing bad. More like when you meet a new person and you hope they like you. LOL. Mm-hmm. I really don't know how long this went on for, but eventually I reached out to touch it, and then it backed away and zoomed off through the window. It was then I heard footsteps in the hall. Mom had gotten up to use the restroom, and saw the light in my room and thought it was us girls up gabbing and had to come have us turn it off. She just gave us a chiding without asking questions and left. So has anyone else had anything like this happen before? It was a really cool experience, honestly, and it didn't scare me at all. Also, yeah, it didn't scare me. I've had to pull my covers up.
Yeah, right.
Also, I was glad that Mom had seen the light from the hallway because I knew I wasn't just dreaming.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's pretty cool. And
Absolutely.
it kind of ties in pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it would.
It was very
fall right in there.
serendipitous.
Serendipitous.
That's right.
I love that word. Not really.
No, I think it's a great word.
Fortuitous.
Fortuitous. That's right. All right, so continuing our journey through the paranormal, we will read to you some more encounters. God, these full-page ads, are you serious? Just hijacks the whole screen like derp.
Derp.
Thanks for that. When I was in fourth year, I was 13, 14 years old. When I was in fourth year, I was 13, 14 years old. I have no idea what year that is in American schools. Okay, I went to a private convent school. One of the girls there was really nice, and I was invited to her house for an overnight stay. She lived in a big 18th century hall in the northeast of England, miles away from anywhere. She had ponies, and I was really excited about the thought of staying over and riding out. I didn't know at the time her mom and dad were divorcing, and he was also a nasty alcoholic. My friend had an older sister who had been in trouble at school and was generally having a hard time, smoking, fighting, etc. And the house had a real-life poltergeist. No one bloody told me that before I turned up, and I suppose I wouldn't have known what it was then. But my mom and Granny took me over in the car, and we drove up to the front of the house and sat there a moment, admiring the place. I always remember this, as we all heard something with a big claws scratched on the side of the car.
Ooh.
It sounds so weird, but it's honestly what we heard. Everyone was a bit, oh my God, and looked out the car window, nothing there. When we got out, I did not want to get out. There were no scratches. I have no idea what it could have been. I asked my mom a while later what she thought, and she weakly answered, badger.
A badger.
A badger.
That'll do it.
Damn badgers coming up and scratching people's cars. But a badger wouldn't have gone up and scratched the car, surely. There were no dogs outside, and the dogs they had were shut in puppy cages in the kitchen. I have no idea. The house did not have a nice feeling. It was pretty and made of a lovely gray stone with stone hounds on the gatepost, but when you walked in, it felt ominous. As a teenager, I was aware that the atmosphere was very flat, but didn't really think about it much at the time. So we had dinner, went to see the horses, etc., and generally mucked about. They had interconnecting doors with little spaces inside. Do you know what I mean? So you would open one door, step up a step, and then straight away open the next door. The space inside wasn't much more than a foot. Well, I opened the first door, went inside, and then couldn't open the door in front of me, or the door behind.
Ooh.
After a bit of frantically shaking the door and giving it a good kick, it finally flew open, and I shot out into the next room. It had never stuck before, and everyone crowded around to see what had happened. Later on that day, we were in the garden, and someone started throwing pebbles at us. Thinking it was the older sister, we shouted for them to stop, but the pebbles kept going. They never hit us, just plop around us on the front lawn. It looked as if they were being thrown from an upstairs window, but I couldn't see anyone doing it. And yes, when we went inside to complain, the sister was in the kitchen with her mom, and had been the whole time. I suppose she could have dashed around from the front room to the back, but the house was jolly cold. Jolly cold.
Jolly cold.
I love those colloquialisms. Although all houses were then, and they couldn't keep their goldfish alive, the dogs wouldn't go into the front room, and all in all, it wasn't a very nice place to sleep. My friend said that she used to see a phantom dogs on the front lawn running around and often heard footsteps in the attic. I had a nice weekend, went out for a ride, did a bit of shopping with my friend, and then went home again. In lower sixth, my friend dropped out of school. She was really bright, and I lost touch and never went back to the house, but I often wondered whether the strange things were still happening or whether they stopped when the family moved out. Yeah, those old houses. I mean, In the U.S. here, an old house is a couple hundred years old. That's an old house in the U.S., but over there it's like, 500, 600, 700 years old. Yeah. And there's buildings that are, nearly at the time of Jesus, for God's sakes, That's crazy that, old over there. And if we have our old houses here and they got a lot of spirit to them, just imagine, over there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just very, if houses absorb energy,
which we know they do.
Then, how much energy and how much horror could those old castles have seen and,
no doubt.
Stuff. It's just like, no wonder that, they're creepy and have that weird vibe because, they've seen it all. So, well.
Yeah, interesting. Well, but it leaves you wonder, what about these houses like from, like down south, the Civil War era prior to that.
Oh, sure.
There's a lot of plantations down there and things and mansions and such that soak up energy, but nothing more than 250 years, obviously. So,
right.
But, there's got to be some stuff. Well, there is obviously stuff down there that's just
there's a lot of
soaking up that,
right.
that energy.
For sure. I mean, the French Quarter of New Orleans is incredibly old by U.S. standards. Right. And, there's the whole of Georgia, the Savannah, Georgia is full of some of those old houses. And, Gettysburg area obviously has seen a lot of horror and tragedy. So, there's plenty of supercharged places like that. But when you think about, England, it's like it's not only seen maybe one war, but it's seen, wars upon wars upon wars.
Of wars.
Even more, thousands of years of wars. I mean, when you talk about, the tribals and the Picts versus the, Britons or whatever. I don't, I'm just throwing names out there.
Right.
But there's just so much history in that land and from, way back when. So they all have a lot of history. This isn't really scary, more of a paranormal interesting event that I swear on. When I was in first grade, I was pretty close with my Sunday school class kids. Obviously, we only saw each other once a week, but we still all got along great. One morning before church, my parents asked me if I knew a kid named Greg in my class. I said yes, and they proceeded to say that he had suffocated in his sleep the night before.
Ooh.
Oh, that's horrid. I didn't really understand the concept and seriousness of death at the time, so I just said, oh, and kind of brushed it off. Although I absolutely fully understood that I wouldn't be seeing Greg anymore. The weekend before, Greg had made a little aluminum foil helmet that he ran around during recess saying that he was an astronaut. So back to when my parents told me about his death, I looked up into the sky expecting to see his angel floating up to heaven. I swear, I saw him spreading his arms and flying through the clouds wearing his aluminum astronaut helmet. You're all going to think it was my little kid imagination, and I don't believe in ghosts at all, but what I saw that day has stuck with me ever since. And I think because seeing him running around with his astronaut helmet was the last time I saw him with a smile on his face, that when I saw him in the clouds upon finding out about his death, I coped with his passing just fine.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's pretty cool. This one's real short. When I was a child, my brothers and I would hear a young girl cry in our house. My dad tried to approach the sound, but then it all became silent, and then he heard the same girl say, "Mommy," right behind him. After a while, we just ignored it, and it seemed to go away. Tell me that wouldn't be creepy, right?
That'd
you hear
be
this
creepy.
child crying, and you walk over to it, and then you hear, "Mommy," behind you. Oh,
That's like that person, the two people that walked through the house and smudged the house and went down to and then she let the first person go up and you got slammed in the wall. Never be the first one.
Never be the first. If somebody says you go first, don't.
Just
Draw
stay
straws,
back.
flip a coin.
Shoot him if it's a bear, shoot him in the foot. You'll be fine.
When I was 5, I lived with my grandparents on a farm that was built in 1912 because my mom had joined the Army while she was single, and the Army won't let you have a kid without family. The original owners had been shot, killed, and buried in an unmarked graves behind the barn.
Jeez.
Years later, someone poured concrete over the graves. Over the course of the 3 years I lived there, every single night I would hear dishes by the sink rattle and be grown against the floor. I think he means thrown against the floor. We would wake up every morning to broken dishes on the floor.
Wow.
I'd also been pushed multiple times, and I used to play with this small kid that I guess wasn't real. I would play tag with him.
Wow. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen.
Yeah. Apparently doing dishes really poorly.
Throwing the dishes on the floor. Oh, boy.
I just would like to remind you I have a mute button.
No, sorry.
That's all right. All right, so the next one. It was a few months ago. I had just moved into my new student house with a few friends. They'd all gone home for a few days because it was summer break, but I stayed there. I was home alone, and it was awesome for the first day or two. Then things started to get a bit weird. For example, small things had been moved, like some of my notes or like the TV remote. I just assumed that it could have been the wind or something. The next few days, I started to hear noises in the night. Not like loud noises, more like small whispers, as if someone was in the house trying to be quiet. But I just thought it was my brain playing tricks on me. The night after that, I heard a door slam, and it woke me the hell up, and I sleep like the dead. So I got up and started freaking out because the bathroom light was on. The light switch is on the inside of the bathroom, and I went to try to open the door, and it was locked. And then the light turned off, and the door unlocked. No one was there, but I screamed and hid under the covers. Hid under the covers, ladies and gentlemen, for the rest of the night. I stayed up all night, then went home to my parents for a few days until the other guys came back. When I explained it to them, they called BS, and nothing has happened since.
Yeah, that's usually the way it happens.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I had another song flash through my head when you said Whispers in the Night.
Okay.
So I won't sing this time.
All right, thank you. What was I going to say, though? The covers.
The covers, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have been a part of the portal for any time, you'll know that apparently covers are the best possible protection against anything paranormal
because everybody hides under them.
There are so many stories of people cowering under their covers, and for the life of me, I can't understand that. So you wake up, you see something horrifying, and it's taking steps towards you.
And you hide under your sheets.
And you hide under your sheets,
Like
right?
it's
like, this scares me so much, I don't want to see it at all. And it's like,
if I can't see you, you can't see me.
right, it's that mentality is like, I'm just going to hide my covers and it'll go away. And, it does, and most of these people obviously are fine. But if I saw something approaching me that was terrifying me, the last thing I'm going to do is take my eyes off of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to, because I'm going to try to move. I'm going to try to get out of the way of whatever the hell this is. But these people just like, nope. They're just noping out and pulling the covers. And so we're pretty much convinced that we have to market some Paranormal Portal bed sheets
definitely.
for all your paranormal hunting needs.
Uh-oh.
What?
Threat secured. We've safely aborted a connection to interface exchange, whatever that is. Oh, it's a JavaScript infection. Thank you. I have good internet protection. Yes.
Yes.
Let's see. Somebody said something here. Hold on.
Okay.
God dang it. Oh, Lady Death said, well, what if it's true, though?
What? That's the sheets?
Yeah. And Julia says, she says, yells, blanket shields.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like kids.
Go
Shields!
gadget sheets.
I'm shooting you with my bazooka shield. Yeah.
You can't shoot me. I'm in my dome.
I have shields. Yeah, I know. I don't know. It seems to work for these people, but I just can't get the psychology of it. It's like, no, this freaks me out so much. I don't want to see anymore.
Regular Girl says the bed sheets are a great idea. I actually have a draft of what an idea I had for Paranormal Portal bed sheets.
Absolutely.
They're just extremely expensive.
They are. That's the problem.
Yeah,
It's
they're like
it's
almost
like
$200 for
I'd love to
twin
do
size.
it, but I couldn't ask you guys to pay for that kind of thing. I mean, I wouldn't want to pay that much myself for sheets.
No doubt.
You know.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they give you paranormal protection. Why not?
Well, that's true. I mean, what is
could-
that worth?
we could have them blessed or something, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sheets of protection.
Yeah, that's possible.
Oh yeah. Regulus says close the closets too. Yeah.
Yeah, closet doors should always remain closed, ladies and gentlemen.
Catholic priest to bless the sheets.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It depends. Yeah, that's oh Jesus. That's a good point. You just got it's like
I wonder if they bought all these sheets at the same place. Like in Diagon Alley or something. I don't know.
Bed and Bath and Beyond, or what are we talking here?
Well, definitely Beyond.
Yeah. No, I don't know, but it's just so damn expensive. I don't know why. Oh, Paranormal Portal underwear, Pixie says.
Yeah, that'll protect me.
Yeah. All I'm gonna say is no, I can't even say this. I sound like such a pig. I'd sound like such a pig. I can't even say it.
Dory, don't we have Paranormal Portal logo tank tops on the website? Dory says she'd want one.
If you go to paranormalportalradio.com, there's a little store I've set up that has a few items on there currently. I've always meant to go back and expand those offerings, but if you are interested in getting a Paranormal Portal emblazoned upon a shirt or sweater, hoodie, or T-shirts, or hat, you can certainly stop over there and do that. That would certainly helps us do the show, of course, too.
Definitely.
But I don't.
Oh, D.
I don't want to ever make the portal, where we're like panhandling all the time. I don't like watching shows where people are always panhandling. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this.
No updates right now. You want to skip that, right?
Yeah, what the hell? Just hey, you're not busy, are you?
Do they
We
come
gotta run
kosher?
updates.
Michael says, do they come kosher? Well, I suppose we could go there too. If we're gonna have a Catholic priest bless them, we might as well go that way too. Why not?
Yeah, well, yeah, we could have them all kinds of blessed and enchanted. I don't know. Have spells said over them, and
Oh goodness.
monks pray over them, and
Yeah, why not? We could the Church of the Nunks.
I almost said nunks too. That word. It's so funny. It's too bad it has such a tragic meaning. I like underwear too. I think we all like underwear.
Well, I don't know. Somebody asked, does anybody still wear underwear? The answer is yes.
What?
Yeah, somebody asked if everybody still wears underwear, and yes, the answer is yes. A lot of us do. Actually.
I do.
I can't go commando.
You can't?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I could. I just choose not to. I just love the snuggly feeling of a good pair of underwear.
I like the
I
support.
don't know what to say. Don would be tripping on his nunk if he
Oh God! That's exactly what I thought, but I wasn't going to say it.
Don's nunk support. Oh. What? Did you see what Vamp just said? We can Scotch guard him before we send him out if that'll help.
This helps with the pooping the bed issue.
Oh my God. Oh, funny. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I guess we could get underwear, ladies and gentlemen, if underwear is important to you. I can probably do heat transfers on underwear just as well. So, let me know. I'm open to suggestions.
Ken says he needs boxer shorts. Goodness.
All right, Ken. We
All
can
right.
throw in boxer shorts into the
I'm blaming
the,
Vamp. I'm just putting it
into
all
the
on Vamp.
catalog.
Yeah, absolutely, sure. You want those on the front or the back?
Yeah. I know I've left some paranormal things in the portal myself. So.
I was about to say we could pre-skin mark them.
Oh no, Don.
No, I meant with a heat transfer. Oh, you're killing me.
No, I know what you meant. I didn't even think that just made it worse. No.
Oh boy.
We will not pre-stain anything for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Unless it's a piece of wood.
No.
Whoa!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move to
Back to the story.
let's go back to the stories, ladies and gentlemen. Quick.
Oh my god, I'm dying.
I don't even know what the hell to say right now. I'm going to read something quick.
Got lightheaded. My vision's blurry.
Oh, Jesus, help us. The power of Christ compels you, Don.
I'm over here dying and sweating and dying and sweating. Oh my goodness, hold on.
When I was a dumb kid, my brother and I were playing around on the stairs, and I was at the top jumping around in a pillowcase. I slipped, obviously, and went tumbling down backwards. Everything went into slow motion, as things sometimes do when your life is in peril. As I was flipping over and over, the back of my skull getting closer by the second to smashing into the hard concrete basement floor, I noticed a movement coming from the dark basement. Suddenly, a large bag of dog food fly across the room as if hurled by an invisible hand and absurd precision and interposed itself between my head and the floor. My skull smashes into the bag a millisecond later, spraying kibble instead of skull fragments around the room. My brother and I were both slack-jawed and confused. The flying bag had traveled at least 10 feet, likely saving me from death or serious injury. I used to think this was evidence of God or angels, but or that I have some kind of purpose, but I realized that this is evidence for nothing in particular except that life is bizarre and unexpected things can and do happen. I don't know why you couldn't take a positive meaning from it. It's like, how often do bags of dog food just hurl themselves in your basement? So it seems to be some kind of intervention, right?
My basement?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I've not been in your basements, but I don't know what goes on down there. Heard there's a lot of meat there, but that's all I'm going to say.
We'll just leave that one there.
Or just leave that
It's
lady.
time to switch out the freezers already, though.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
Oh,
gotta switch them out.
I
Dang,
see.
They get heavy.
They do. They get all icy, huh?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Defrost. Okay. So, moving along. I'm glad we resurfaced, ladies and gentlemen. But that's just the thing. You just can't tell what's going to happen on this show. Anything is possible at any moment. So, what the hell? I got ads popping up here. Why is that happening?
You got what?
Close ad. I don't even know why that popped up. Oh, I guess instead of hijacking my whole page, that at least stayed in the corner. So that was good. My eye is just watering like crazy, though. It's this fan. It's drying me out. How you doing, Don?
Apparently I'm doing better than Pixie. She's still laughing, apparently. It's been a good show so far.
Well, it's always interesting here on the Portal, ladies and gentlemen. That's the thing. We don't script this at all, right? So I've always wanted to treat the Paranormal Portal like, first, to have as much fun as we can possibly, because oftentimes the subject matter is so dark and heavy that it's good to take it light and just, explore it, have fun with it, talk about it. But also, I also always wanted it to be like hanging out with friends, you know. Don't script it, don't schedule it, don't, sterilize the experience. I just wanted it to be fun and relaxing. And I think at the very least, even as bizarre as we get, we're having fun, Everybody's having a good time. Everybody's having a laugh. And if anybody was offended by that, I do apologize, but it's just... No,
I think everybody in the chat's pretty much on board.
Okay, good deal. All right, well, good. I certainly don't want people to go, oh, man, that's a... you can't talk in there. Nope, never mind. There's the hijack ad. Took over my whole screen.
There we go.
I have a ghost that occasionally visits me in my sleep and tells me things that either are about to happen or things that people are hiding from me. It is a female, and from the looks of what she is wearing, she's either from the 30s or 40s. A few things I can recall off the top of my head. When I was in high school, she told me that one of my friends was going to break his leg playing a sport he usually doesn't. The next day, this happened. She told me that a girl I had a crush on was going to give me her number, and it happened 2 days later. She told me when both of my dogs were going to die, she now also shows their spirits to me. They haven't left the house. They still acting the same as if they were alive. That's cool. And now the creepiest one for me is about 3 months ago, she told me that I was missing a female figure in my life. I questioned her, saying that if I should be married or something, and she laughed and said it was family and that I should ask my mother. I asked my mother about this, and it turns out that she had a miscarriage about 2 years before she had me. It was supposed to be a girl. There have been a few other instances, but these are the ones I can recall at the moment. That's really cool. Very, very cool. I mean, who wouldn't love to have someone just come by and give you a little peek into what's going on?
Yeah, no doubt.
That'd be brilliant.
Well, we have Deb.
Well, we do. And God, I love her dearly, because I always burn up the line whenever things get awry in the haunted studio here. Deb, guess what?
Guess what happened this time?
Yeah, and she'll kick back and do a reading, and everything will be cool.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, I guess Naysay called.
Oh.
Yeah, a little busy. Sorry.
Sorry, Naysay.
He called and I missed the call. And then he wrote a message that I'm an idiot, Sardy.
Jump on YouTube, buddy.
Nah, I hope he's here. I hope he's paying attention, tuning in. No worries. Let's see. Sorry, I just had to check that out.
What?
What?
So I posted, your promo pic, and it says under it, ever wonder if a peanut can fit in your nostril?
Right.
And one of our, someone responded back, I once stuck a rubber broken off Barbie doll foot up my nose when I was around 9 years old. I was absolutely terrified as I struggled to get it out. Well, finally I did, thank God. Lesson learned. I never did that again. Lesson learned. Wow. You know, life is full of lessons, and if you've got to stuff a broken off Barbie foot in your nose, I guess you're going to learn that one.
That's how you learn?
Thank you for sharing that, by the way.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess we all learn things at our own pace, and there's some things I haven't learned yet because I still, do some stupid things. But I can assure you that peanuts are no longer going to be going in my child's nostril. At least I believe that. I'd like to believe that. I don't know. I guess, anything's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I just to let you know, I told him he's not supposed to put anything smaller than his elbow in his nose or his ear.
Yeah. Well, that's good. If you can get any, absolutely. In fact, the nurse at the emergency room was like, well, I've pulled all kinds of stuff out of kids' ears, but never a nose. So
yeah, no doubt.
So apparently, things in nostrils are a little rare. But yeah, he literally just went like this with his thumb and just kind of worked it down, and then suddenly there's a peanut on my kid's lap.
And he told me, I asked him when I went down there. He goes, "It went in the garbage." I'm like, I certainly hope so.
Well, he then said to my son, "So here's this little bloody peanut." He's like, "Do you want to eat it?" Elijah looked at him like,
"Did he really?"
Yeah. Elijah looked at him like, "What the hell's wrong with you? Get that thing away from me! I know where it's been." So it was really funny.
Oh my goodness.
There you have it. But anyway, it's always an adventure. So, continuing on.
Oh,
I work as a press photographer. One day I was photographing a family whose house was haunted. I don't believe in anything like that. Anyways, I was photographing them in the living room, and there was a crash and bang from the kitchen. We went in, and the cutlery drawer had flew out and emptied itself across the floor. That was really odd. I had a good look around for any string mechanisms in the drawer. Nothing. And that's the whole story.
Well, there you go.
Well, I hope he's a believer now. All right, next one. I was having a weird dream one night and woke up and saw the dream in my room. I remember I was on my back, which is weird because I don't sleep on my back. And I woke up, I felt a heaviness in the room and turned to my door, and there was a silhouette of a man standing in the doorway. He wasn't really threatening, but my heart started to race, and he just stood there. No facial features, no movement, just a black shape. Then I hear something and shift my gaze to the foot of my bed. It's a grandfather clock, and then I hear a voice say something about time. Deep voice, calming almost. I close my eyes, and when I open them again, everything is normal. I run out of my bedroom, and I wish I knew what it had said. I actually, the other night, had a little bout of sleep paralysis, but it wasn't in the morning. It was like in the middle of the night.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just a quick one. I mean, like I told you, I did learn how to get out of those because I had sleep paralysis just several nights a week for years, and I had to learn how to push myself out of them. And it's nothing short of a absolutely agonizing act of will to push through it. But I've learned how to do that, and I'm not trying to, not trying to blow my own horn, but honest to God, I had to do it again, and it was like, huh. And you gotta fight out of it because it just keeps you locked in that state.
Wow.
Very, very strange. I don't know.
I think one time, like way back when,
Uh-huh.
I think I've had something like that, because I remember there was this one night that I was just I was mad because I couldn't get to sleep.
Uh-huh.
So, they say part of what you're supposed to do to induce that kind of thing is to ignore all your little body functions, like the soreness in your shoulder. Usually you would move to make yourself more comfortable, and you're just supposed to lay still and just kind of quiet your head, and you're supposed to be able to slip into this lucid dream or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But I remember I didn't know any of this then. I was just laying there. I was just kind of mad, and I wouldn't do anything. I'd feel my finger was starting to twitch. I'd stop it, and I'd just lay there, and my leg would cramp up a little bit, and I just leave. And so it led into this, what I guess could be called sleep paralysis or lucid dreaming episode. But I don't remember it being like scary or anything.
Oh, cool.
I mean, it really doesn't stick out. But I remember it was weird, and I couldn't move.
Right.
So.
Huh.
But that
Well,
was
that's good.
a long time ago, so maybe I'll try it again.
Yeah, try it again, I guess. I mean,
I'll
if
have to
you enjoy the experience, but for me, all I can tell you is that even in this most recent one, it felt like it was imposed upon me. I mean, just on a very intuitive level, I knew, or I believed. I can't say I knew, but I believed that it was being done to me.
Wow.
And that's the part that pisses me off. And I mean, honestly, there's no other way to say it. I just get pissed. And it's like, no, you don't, and it came from, again, dealing with it for such a long period of time and
Right.
being absolutely powerless to learn how to find power in that moment and push through it. And so, but I felt that same way again. And in my head, I'm going, oh, no, you don't.
Yeah.
And I suddenly, I just fight through it. And honest to God, the weird part is, I'm in this state, and I know I can't move. I can't do anything, and I'm lucid enough. I'm aware enough to open my eyes a little bit and see the room that I'm in, and to see the doorway. But then what happened was I moved my hand, but then I realized, no, this isn't real. It's not really me moving my hand. This is part of the layers of it.
All right.
And that made me even madder. It's like, oh, you son of a, and I fought harder and got through it. So
One of our chatters said I had a black mass above me, and I couldn't move, but I could move my hand enough to pinch my wife, and when she woke up, it disappeared.
oh, cool, very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well played. And that's the key, I think, is just to figure out some methodology to get out of it.
Right.
And whatever works for you, whether, if you have someone you can pinch, and if you don't, if there's for me, what it is just creating some real physical motion.
Right.
And it's honest to God, like even a little pinky twitch is like, okay. And then you just hang on to that and you push harder and harder until your whole hand moves. And then you sit up and shake your head a little bit and start moving around.
Now, I have a question, though, because we've talked about sleep paralysis and things like that before. Are these normally scary circumstances? Is it normally, or is there a peaceful...
I've never had any peace.
Lucid dreaming, if you're partially
Lucid
conscious,
dreaming
then,
is fine.
Yeah, well, okay, so
But I don't think they're
sleep
one and the
paralysis,
same.
because it's related to the Banshee stories.
Right.
So okay, but
Well, and again, it's the idea, and I don't know where it comes from in me, but I just feel like someone is imposing this upon me, and that's what it's like being
black mass. Yeah,
Right.
okay, yeah,
It's-
like the chatter said, yeah.
right, and it feels like being a spider or in a spider web. You're like
Right.
the fly,
Right.
and you can't move, and all you can do is watch the spider descend. And I don't usually see anything as far as a mass like the person in the chat room was talking about.
Right.
But I feel it like that presence.
Right.
And feel like it's closing in, and it's like, no, you don't, and it just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just, and it's not, when initially it was happening, it was like this panic. It was like, oh my God, what's going on? And just feeling so powerless, and it's just a humiliating feeling. So that to me was the key, was just being able to find a way to fight through it. And anyone that suffered from sleep paralysis, you know what I'm saying, and you know how absolutely horrifying it is.
Yeah, that's what Ken said. Ken said it's always terrifying, and
Yeah.
I guess maybe what I did, I was lucid dreaming then, because I knew that it wasn't it wasn't real. I knew that I was really actually awake. So
Yeah.
I guess it was more lucid dreaming.
Sure.
Because you know what, it was also probably one of my flying dreams, and I've told you before.
Oh yeah, those are awesome.
My flying dreams were just awesome.
Yeah, and I've loved every one of those that I've had. Yeah, I mean, and those are the ones you don't want to wake up.
Yeah, no. You're like,
Yeah.
that's ever since I was a kid, I've had flying dreams. I've always wanted to get my pilot's license and things like that because of it.
Not me. I don't want the pilot's license. I want to fly.
Well,
I want the real deal. I want to not only wear the Superman shirt, but
hey, we know a guy who has a brand new plane.
Huh?
And shove it in his butt.
He can pilot that right out of hell.
Yeah, take that rocket ride.
Anyhow, without getting too personal. Anyway, continuing on.
Yes, please.
All right, let's get back to some. Did you have more stories?
What's gray tech? Okay, so one of our chatters says, I think it's gray tech. What? I missed it. So what's
Gray?
gray
Is that
tech?
gray alien kind of stuff? Is
Yeah,
that what
I
he's
think
talking
so.
about?
Yeah.
I've not heard that word before, but that's what I would.
Well, yeah. So gray alien technology.
Right.
I don't know what he was referring to, but it caught my eye.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of people that have had the sleep paralysis experience that have also experienced abductions because
that's true. Yeah.
They're frozen. They can't move.
Right.
They can experience all this going on around them.
Right. They get sucked through windows that
Right.
aren't open and everything.
Yeah. So that could very well be. I think I think it's kind of like having a headache.
Right.
There's many reasons you can get a headache, and but you have a headache, and it feels the same no matter what brought it on. And so I
Right.
think that there's definitely the account of those people that deal with abductions that experience that same sensation and that same feeling of helplessness.
Right.
And then there's the people that deal with the I don't know if it's shadow people that induce that or some kind of black entity of some kind, or the old hag or whatever you want to call it. And then maybe there's other reasons, but either way, it's just many ways to bring about the same kind of terrible experience.
Right.
For
Wow. Yeah, and I'm learning things tonight, so there you go.
yeah, absolutely. So, did you have more that you wanted to read?
Oh yeah, sure.
There's 29 people watching.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's cool. Now,
outstanding.
anybody who hasn't, remember, hit that like button
Hit the like button.
because we like it when you do.
And make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Please.
Absolutely.
We'd love for you to be subscribed.
We love.
So you know what we'll be doing. We're not always sure what we're doing, but
That's true.
you'll know about it at the same time we do.
You'll be on the front lines with us. So let's see here. So this is under haunted places. So banging noises, remodeling mayhem.
Ooh,
When I was about 12, my mom bought this fabulous house in Baldwin.
fabulous.
It was everything we wanted and had plenty of room for our growing family. Except for the occasional freaky moments, my family was fine. I had some bizarre experiences in the house, but I just kept chalking it up to new surroundings. After a few years, star-studded Wow. After a few years, stuff started to fall apart, and my stepfather decided to remodel the bathroom next to my room. He started one day when me and my siblings were in school and stopped when we came home. Everyone went off to do their after-school stuff, and my stepdad left to go to the hardware store, leaving me completely alone. I was taking a nap when I heard banging noises from the bathroom. I figured it was my stepdad and went to go see if my mom was home yet, but there was no one there. So I thought I'd been hearing things. I went back to my room, laid back down, when I heard what sounded like heavy boots clomping around in there. I looked out the window to see who it could have been, but everyone's car was gone and there was no one home because I checked. I know I did. I don't live at that house anymore, and neither do my older siblings, but occasionally my youngest sibling will call, and he'll cry about seeing things in his room. He called me a few weeks about the thing in the piano room, but I'll start off with my experiences in my next post. Gosh darn it. Why would you? That's a teaser. Gosh. Let's see if I can find the next one. I don't know. I don't know. They should have a link to it. Oh, here's his next post.
They should.
Damn.
You are right. They should.
Dang it. Dang it. Find ghost hunters and paranormal investigators in Missouri. Well, okay. I'm not going to be able to find that. So,
Well, continue. If you'd
okay.
like.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Let's go here. Noise annoyance. You know what? Let's do this. The friendly silhouette. We've had enough ridiculousness and darkness. The friendly silhouette goes along with the blue orb story I read. This is the first story I've ever posted. As I'm new to the site, I hope you all like it. Certainly found it intriguing at the time. This particular incident took place when I was 10 years old. I had been ill and had, therefore, been sent to school early by my parents. The illness was nothing major, just a virus I had picked up from school. Time progressed and I had not been able to fall asleep, so I had been laying in the dark for what seemed to be quite a while, although it was not late, as the rest of my family were still downstairs. At this point, I'd like to describe the layout of my room so you have a clearer understanding of my story. Excuse me. The head of my bed was positioned against the bedroom window, which was situated at the rear of the house. The view from it, excuse me. Goodness. The view from it was of our back garden and of those belonging to houses behind us. Oh, the gardens of the houses behind us. Opposite my bed, at its foot, was my wardrobe, which was tall and wooden, with a thin 3-foot mirror attached to its panel, to the left of the wardrobe door. It was autumn or winter, I can't remember which, so the evenings drew in early and it had been dark for quite some time. I was suffering from typical sore throat and fever, as I had already mentioned. Was trying to settle to sleep, but to no avail. At the time, I was in preference to having my bedroom door shut and curtains open. That night was no exception, and I lay on my back in the darkness facing my wardrobe. Without warning, a bright white light, similar to a security light, was projected onto my wardrobe door, bringing along with it a perfect black silhouette of a person from a side profile. I was not sure if it was male or female, which sounds strange, but it was petite with short curly hair. You could clearly see the shape of a person's nose and lips, and they stood in that position for several seconds, possibly even a minute in total. There was no feeling of threat. There was no feeling of threat there. In fact, there was just mild puzzlement on my part. Sitting up in bed, I at first assumed that the silhouette belonged to one of our neighbors who had switched on a light in their back garden before venturing out. I turned around and studied my neighbor's back gardens and then my own. In all instances, there was no light, nobody at all outside. Baffled, I turned back to the silhouette. It was still there. The only difference was that the head was tilted downwards slightly. Determined to find a logical explanation to the person's presence, I turned to look out my window again. Perhaps the light was bright moonlight and I had failed to see the person outside the first time around. Kneeling at the head of my bed, I had one more look, but again there was nothing and nobody there. The moonlight that I had suspected as an explanation for the illumination, my goodness, behind the silhouette was not there either. There was no moon and it was a cloudy night. I was baffled. Turning to face the silhouette one more time, I studied it, still intrigued by it, and keen for an answer as to why it was there. It remained in front of me for several more seconds before vanishing, taking the light with it, as though it had been switched off. I still think about this experience from time to time. What strikes me about it is not only the bold, blatant appearance of the light in the silhouette, but the fact that the incident itself seemed totally natural, albeit the lack of a logical explanation, the lack of logic that it appeared produced. What? I was wondering if the silhouette was somebody who was there for me, looking after me, and they wanted to know as much. Anyhow, that's the story. very wordy. We got 50-cent words and they're strung back to back. Lots of commas. Obviously, Oxford commas. I mean, they're plentiful. I hate it when that happens. It's kind of hard to read. It's like, am I supposed to pause here? No, don't pause there. Keep going.
Yeah, a big block of text, was it?
Yes, I know Dead Mouse is a bandy. Anyhow, yeah, no, it was well structured. It just had a lot of commas. It's like pause, breathe, pause, breathe, pause, breathe.
Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. We're just catching up. Mary wins on Nunks.
Oh no.
Well, she deserves the right to know, and so we all know now, and it's it takes on a whole new level of gag reflex now. Yeah. All right, lady, you leaving us? Aw, well, sweet dreams.
Sleep.
Thanks for coming in.
What's sleep? That might be my problem. Is I'm not. It's not lucid dreaming. It's insanity from lack of sleep.
Mary says it is funny. Ah, well, good. I'm glad now you're all caught up, and I don't know that the word will ever be used again on the portal because
I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure it'll come up because we have glorious members of our chat room that make sure to remind us of
never
such
forgotten.
things. Yeah, they are there.
There seems to be common threads throughout all of our shows. One specific one that happened at about an hour and 2 minutes that'll never go away.
Oh yeah, you suppose we should introduce those people too?
No,
that episode.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Oh.
Now that I brought it up, I'm sure Pip's
no.
Thank
right?
God she can't drop
It's not
links
like
in
I
here.
haven't been
Only I can
queuing
drop
it
links
up or
in here.
anything, right?
Oh,
It's not like I would do that.
Why don't you
it?
play the picks?
I will. I'll play that
Okay,
second.
whatever.
All right. So anyway, here's
He's shut down.
You'll hear the term beans being used for our new listeners. And I'm gonna have to
Just
bring
gonna
this
sit
to you.
back here and cry.
All right, you go weep.
All right.
Now quit interrupting me. You
Go have a weepenectomy.
Yeah. You'll hear us use the term beans, and Pixies, of course, is big on this, and it was hilarious. And what had happened was Don was reading stories about black-eyed children's, and it was talking about a story that was talking about adults and children, so it was saying beings. And for the life of me, I didn't know what the hell Don was talking about because I kept hearing beans, and I was just confused. So what's going to happen here is, let me make sure it doesn't play automatically. It shouldn't, but I'm letting it queue up here. I'll play you the clip. So you can, it's good time, and our listeners deserve to know. They deserve to be privy to
the listeners got a 20 extra minutes on Saturday night.
Well, which is fun, too. That was a lot of fun, by the way.
No, it was. It was great.
It was really very improv. We really didn't know we were going to do it, and we just got done shutting the stream down to the network, and Don's like, hey, let's go longer. And I was like, okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So this is still just chewing on this, though.
Oh,
all right,
God.
so
Wow.
let me see if it'll play. Yeah, it will. Okay.
Oh,
That's extraordinarily
dang it.
loud, though. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I will play you the clip that the beans refers to, because I didn't know what the hell Don was talking about, and it was a pretty hilarious clip, actually.
Ken, go jump in a lake somewhere in Osville.
All right. Here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Let me switch to the 3-panel.
3-panel.
And you can hear, this is from our
yeah.
Black-Eyed Kids episode, Encountering Black-Eyed Children. You can see it. It's about the 1 hour and 2 minute mark. And this is the beans reference that you'll hear over and over and over and over. All right. And over. Here you go.
That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous statement.
I've never heard of the Men in Black appearing with black eyes, though. I've heard they've appeared robotic. And they've had no eyebrows and things like that. But I've never heard the claim
kind of the watcher lookers.
Yeah. I mean,
bald headed,
yep.
hairless body.
Yeah,
Yep.
Hmm.
So I've never heard. I mean, that's not to say there aren't accounts out there, but in any of them that I bumped into, I have not come across that.
In black-eyed beans, apparently the sclera is black as well as the pupil and
Look
the
at my
iris.
face.
Eyewitnesses,
Black-eyed beans?
black-eyed beans, like black-eyed peas. I think you're thinking of black-eyed peas. Witnesses are probably not seeing the retina directly. Humans have the classic red eye in photographs as a result of flash photography. To see the eyes of a black-eyed bean would probably require a similar
bean.
intent.
Why are you saying bean?
Beans.
Oh,
said
being.
beans.
Oh, okay. I thought- all this time, like, why is Don talking about beans?
And I'm the one that's always drinking on TV. Or on
Being. Okay.
beans.
It's just in the enunciation is the key.
Please
Being.
enunciate.
There's more than one syllable in that word, Don.
Can you give me that in a sentence, please?
I love that line.
Being.
To see into the eye of a black-eyed being
Being.
would probably require a similar intense on-access light source. However, if eyewitnesses can actually see a black retina, as some have claimed, then the retina of these... What? I'm going to fire him. What are you laughing about now?
I just got this beans going through my...
I think you
I'm like,
got it stuck in your
beings.
head.
No. Beings. Beings. Is that how you say that?
Oh, and everybody in the chat room can just go fly a kite. I'm done with this story. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Pixie and Danielle and Lori and Lady Death and Randy, you can all just go jump in a lake. I love you, but go away. I'm turning my mic off.
Oh, that's so funny. Everybody's here going, human beings. Oh, my God. I'm just crying here.
I'm just gonna sit over here and drink.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the episode where it all started, and so it continues. The legend of the beans continues.
Oh God!
And it was actually re-funnied by Miss Pixie. She developed this really cool.
I'm looking for
this really cool trailer, and I'm gonna play that for you now.
Oh, you got it? Okay. And can speak verbally, although this does not negate the supernatural origin.
Oh, what the hell?
One eyewitness was in an elevator with a black-eyed bean. The following
Black-eyed beans?
black-eyed beans, black-eyed peas. Eyewitnesses often sense from both black-eyed children and adult beings. However, the hairless body
Yeah. Yep.
beings.
I love that heartbeat.
Beans.
It's beings.
That's hard to believe. So,
And
human beings.
That kills me. That's so funny.
oh, that last little scene was funny.
That whole thing is hilarious. That was brilliant. Pixie, thank you. I love you bunches for that. You have made my days.
You've made Paranormal Portal history, actually. Yeah.
So that is the legend of the beans, ladies and gentlemen. Now you have been brought up to speed to our new listeners. Now you understand.
I think that's why I made her the admin of the MeWe page.
Ah, right. So there you have it. So now it's all out there. We have no secrets here in the portal, ladies and gentlemen.
No, we don't wear underwear either.
I'm currently wearing underwear, Don. So.
So all
right.
I was going with it.
All right. Well, that's a secret you can keep. All right.
Oh,
so
God, Ken, I'm going to stab myself in the eye with a spoon.
what did Ken say?
Ken says, Don, you need to wear your beanie on your head. God, wait until I start wearing my beanies again. It'll get cold, and I'll start wearing my beanies again.
Oh, that is hilarious, Dory. You're absolutely right.
And somebody's gonna.
Mary says her face hurts. Oh, it's brilliant. You know, the funniest thing about that was watching your face. The way Pixie clicked,
Yeah,
made those clips, and each time you had a different embarrassed expression. That was so awesome. Oh, my God. I must have watched that thing about 50 times.
and still watch it.
And it's still hilarious. Oh, my God. You know, it's like I get these favorites, right? You know, I have that favorite EVP of that demon scream. It's just horrid. And then I have a favorite submitted video. It's Pixie's clip of that. And, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, that is Pixie's first time doing any kind of movie making. She used iMovie on her computer and did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
That was top notch. That's better than I could have done. So,
Yeah.
I mean, really, that was, you got to admit, that was pretty freaking impressive as hell. You do have to admit that, Don. Don?
I'm sorry, what? My name's Ed McMahon. Have fun. I'm just going to sit back here and drink just like he did. You know that's what was in his coffee cup, right?
I'm sure he was all sauced up.
Oh, I know I'd be.
Yeah.
Wait, I am.
Well,
In a
yeah,
minute,
we don't know what's in your jug. Your jug that you bring. So, all right, moving along, ladies and gentlemen. Let's read some more paranormal mayhem here on the Paranormal Portal.
You know, I want to say real quick, though, today there's been a few people in the chat that have had a bad day. And they've mentioned that before you started into that walk down memory lane, you know, that they said that we brighten their day. They look forward to seeing us. So I just want to say thank you, and I'm glad we can be part of.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm sorry. It pains me anytime anybody's hurting, you know, and I certainly have been through my share of painful days. I don't wish them on anybody, of course, but it's really cool to hear that because, you know, I mean, I love doing the show, and of course it's something that is an absolute passion of mine, and I know you feel the same way, Don. And the fact that you guys come in and listen anyway is just such a kick.
Astounding.
You know, it's such an amazing rush that you guys show up to just hear what we've got to say about anything.
I know,
I mean, my God, you know, these people are coming to hear what we've got to say, Don. I mean, is that not amazing?
It is, yeah.
And you guys, I have to tell you, though, that goes both ways, though, because I know that when I'm not doing the show, I'm thinking about the show, and when on those days between, it just seems to take so long because I can't wait to get back together with you guys and do it all over again. So you guys have made our days.
It's like looking for that weekend.
Right. It really
God,
is.
It's only Monday.
Yeah, you start looking at the calendar and going, you know, when can we go back? When do we get to do it again? You know, I love you all dearly, and I mean that sincerely. I'm not just being flippant with that. I mean, I truly love you guys. You guys are amazing. We have an amazing audience. It's not, and if you'll notice, we don't have the dicks and the jerks and the people coming in to cause, you know, just to be tools.
Yeah.
We have people that are here and they're part of a community, and I mean, we're tight. I think we're all real tight. So thank you guys for being here and making it what it is. So you guys are amazing, and we're absolutely thrilled that we can be, you know, helpful in you getting through your stuff as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it goes both ways. This here's a family, see?
It's a family show with family C in it. Yep.
So there's no I in family. Oh, wait, there is.
There's no me in family.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a my, but not a family. Oh, there is a me in family, isn't there? Never mind.
Well, there you go. So let's thank you, Taz. Love you too. Awesome. I look forward to the portal. Thanks, Pixie. And Vamp. Aw, thank you. And D says she can rap.
I think she's talking about Fergie. They got well, I don't know, maybe D can rap too. I don't know.
Cool.
They were talking about those other that band called
I got to tell you,
Black-Eyed Weirdos.
Right. But I got to tell you that you know, Dee, I think is a phenomenal person as well, and she's got her own channel. The thing that I find the most impressive, Dee, is your music. You know, I write music as well, as you may or may not know.
Oh, okay. So she was saying, okay.
Yeah, her music is really phenomenal. She does a great job, and
Yeah,
it's
that one she sent out. Yeah.
I've enjoyed listening to her tunes. So, Yeah, we're an eclectic bunch for sure, all of us. And let's continue on this journey.
Oh, please. Don't let me stop you.
No, you never do.
Thank God.
Even when you try. All right. I was sitting at home with my grandma, and she was doing word search, and I was browsing Reddit on my iPad. No radio, TV, or other source of noise in the house was on. Clear as day, I hear my nickname, like if my name was Michael, I heard Mike. So I turned to my grandma, and she's already looking back at me, and I asked, "Did you call me?" And she says, "No, but I heard someone say your name." There's a big, long F word there. That's the end of the story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I gotta wonder what that is, though, too, because that's a real common phenomenon. It doesn't.
It's not connected to anything.
It doesn't seem like it. It just seems like this random manifestation, and you almost have to wonder: is that like a stone tape thing to playing out for the same people? You know, is that just one of the things that was absorbed and just kind of regurgitates every once in a while?
Huh.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a foreboding, evil.
Yeah, it could just be an entity gathering power, and then when it just gets that power.
Well, I'm speaking more of like the house.
Oh, the house.
You know, the stone tape theory
sure,
that,
sure.
Energy is absorbed. And it doesn't always have to be tragic and horrible. It can just be something gets absorbed, and then it'll just regurgitate in a residual way.
Right, but what I mean is like, it uses that energy to cause that one thing, and then it's got to build its energy back up. And that's why they only hear it every once in a while.
It could be, yeah. That's as valid as any.
I
sure.
know. When I wake up, I got to gather my energy.
I know. I'm like a really lethargic slug when I wake up. It takes me a long time.
Not me, because you got to sleep to wake up.
What?
You got to sleep to wake up.
Oh, right. So you don't really sleep. Yeah.
I was like,
I got you. I'm sorry.
Maybe I should just start meditating.
You should try it.
Yeah, maybe.
Try it. See if it helps
See
you.
if it works for you.
My mom was diagnosed with late-stage breast cancer in 2009. It was a struggle, and the doctors didn't expect her to pull through, but she did, like a champ. My mom is a fighter, and as she puts it, refused to let cancer kick her tail. Fast forward to 2012, and she decided to undergo reconstructive surgery. The surgery goes well, and she's put into recovery. She spends a day drifting in and out of consciousness, which is expected after a surgery like that. The whole time, she is still hooked up to a morphine drip to help her pain, and after being reassured by the doctors that everything was fine, we decided to go to our homes and shower and sleep. My sister elects to stay just in case anything goes down. Fast forward to the next morning, and my sister is calling me in tears saying I needed to get to the hospital right now. I rush up to the hospital and am pulled aside by the doctors and told that my mom has suffered some complications from the surgery and is in a coma. A half hour goes by, and my stepdad arrives, and I live by myself closer to the hospital, and the doctors pull him and I into a room, and they say her lungs are filled with fluids at a fast rate, and she is unlikely to recover, and we need to make a decision to keep her on life support or pull the plug.
Yeah.
We refuse to let her go like that. 3 days go by, and my mom starts showing some cognitive activity, and by the end of the week, she wakes fully. The relevant part happens after she wakes up. She looks at my stepdad and I and asks when we came into the room.
Right.
We tell her we've been here all week, and she seemed really dumbfounded by this and replies she has only been in the room for a day or two, and then asked where her grandmother had gone. This creeped us out. My great-grandmother passed away in early 2007. When my stepdad tried to explain this to her, she replied that she had spent the last couple of days talking to her about the family. She said that Grandma got really weird and told her that she can't give up because she had children to take care of. According to my mom, around the time Grandma said this, Mom became aware of us being in the room and Grandma was gone. It was really weird to hear her talk about it. To this day, she has no recollection of being in a coma. She knows she was now, but all she can remember is spending a few days in the hospital with my grandma talking about my family. Wow, cool. Very cool. That's a great story.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Hope you all enjoyed it. Want to hear more? Here you go.
Go ahead, Jethro.
All right, here you go. Want to hear? Here you go. My first home I was born and raised in was always like something to call home during the day, but at night it seemed like there's always something around the corner or right behind you. I felt it, my cousins felt it, my parents felt it, but always ignored it. Weird stuff will always happens, like doors opening and slamming themselves and waking me up, but that wasn't the least of my concerns. One time at night, I was reading a book while laying down on my floor with half my body in the closet. I don't know why. And the power went off. Chills immediately ran down my spine. Almost a second after, I heard a deep-toned growling right behind me. And I ran crying to my mom, knocking over a lot of stuff. It was pitch black. She yelled at me when the lights turned on and didn't believe me. I begged her to let me sleep with her that night because I just didn't feel safe at all in the room. I had no other choice but just try to think that it was my imagination and sleep there anyway. I woke up to my head hitting my bed frame and my right leg being dragged into my closet.
Oh.
God, I'm getting chills. I just remembering this. I knew something was in there and I wanted me to look at it, but I didn't. I screamed my lungs out and ran straight to my mom and cried all night telling her what happened. She got mad at me for waking her up. Oh, my God. And being a girl, my family is rather tough, I guess you can say. That night, I slept at the foot of her bed, shaking, trying only to look towards my mother because I just had this haunting feeling of someone or something standing right behind me, just staring. A bunch of other stuff happened in that house, but it's by far the most terrifying for me. Wow. That would be horrid, ladies and gentlemen. Waking up being dragged into a closet? Yeah. That's all kinds of wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong with a capital R. Sorry, that was a joke. I know it starts with a W. It was a joke, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, boy.
All right. And for my next joke.
Why am I here?
Why are you here?
Comic relief.
Yeah, exactly. Because, Don, you are my sounding board, brother. You are my yang to my yin and the yin to my yang.
Huh.
I don't know. It sounds poetic, doesn't it?
Sounds like a yin-yang to me.
That's what it was. Yin and yang.
There you
That's
go.
what I was just explaining. Thank you. Night before last, I just finished taking a shower. It was 1:30 a.m. and I was walking out of the bathroom. All I had was my phone for light in one hand and my pile of dirty clothes in the other. I was walking across the living room to the laundry room that's past the kitchen. 2 steps into the living room, I hear someone whisper my name loudly in my ear. That's just terrible. I flip out and turn around, looking at whoever said it. There's no one in the pitch black darkness, and everyone is asleep. I nope straight to the laundry room and throw my clothes in there, run back to the hallway, into my room, and start praying. My house isn't known for paranormal stuff, but in the last few years, we've had incidents with shadow people and disembodied voices. One event of disembodied voices was when my mom and I were cooking. My brother was out for a jog, and I'm cutting the meat into strips, and my mom is cutting the bacon. Carne en su jugo. Carne en su jugo? I don't know. When we hear what sounds like my brother singing in the shower, hitting a high note. He liked to sing in the shower and was in choir. I made a joking comment about, there he goes again. 3 minutes later, he walks in the front door from his jog. Nope, nope, nope. 3 nopes. Nope, nope, nope.
I noped on out of that one.
Clearly, there was a lot of noping going on. And as the mayhem ensued, noping began.
Oh, my. That was rather off the cuff and nice.
Well, thank you.
Ah, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
When I was a kid, down the road from us lived the sweetest elderly couple on the planet. They were kind, loving, friendly, just all around the most awesome people on the planet. I considered them a set of grandparents. Well, one day, I think it was 2004 or so, I was up late, BSing on the internet, and it was just after midnight when I smelled something weird. My room smelled like cocoa butter lotion. And I was like, WTF? I sniffed around for the source and found nothing. I brought my mom up, and she sniffed around and smelled it too. I shrugged and went back to gaming, and the smell lingered for about 4 hours before finally disappearing. I didn't think anything of it until the next day. The elderly woman I mentioned died in her sleep that same night, shortly after midnight. And did I mention that she loved cocoa butter lotion? because she loved cocoa butter lotion. Yeah, I think I was visited by a ghost. Well, that didn't end there because the smell returned the next night, too. This time I knew what it was, so I started speaking to her, saying my goodbyes and thanked her for being around. After a couple hours, I went to bed, and the smell was still there, and it was really starting to freak me out.
You think?
I don't know. I think that's sweet. I don't know why. It wouldn't freak me out. It'd be like, well, cool. It's just making sure I'm sleeping soundly. Eventually, I snapped and told her to stop and go away because she was scaring me. Within a couple of minutes, the smell up and vanished. And I cried because it hit me that she was gone, and she came to see me, and I yelled at her. Well, it doesn't end there. A few years later, my uncle, who I later found out was my real father. Huh?
What?
He was my real father who didn't want me, was dying of cancer, throat, I think, and was in the hospital. And then one day, shortly after he was admitted, I randomly smelled cocoa butter lotion again at around 4 p.m. It only stayed for about 2 minutes and then disappeared, but I knew what it was. Half hour later, they call us and tell us that he died at 4 p.m. 1 week later, the night before the funeral, late at night, I was trying to sleep, and then the smell came back again, and I said out loud that I would see him again in the morning, and the smell went away almost instantly. Not sure if it's related, but the next day my grandmother was admitted to the hospital with a possible heart attack. Wow. It wasn't. It was just really bad heartburn. But that was the fun thing to get the call for right after the funeral. About a year later, the elderly man I mentioned before, he died in his sleep, and I smelled it again that same night, and it didn't stay for long, though. And I was confused as to who it might be. Got the call the next day. He was rather sad case. After his wife passed, he literally broke his mind. He was fine before it, but when she passed, he was full-blown Alzheimer's. So anyway, I smell when people close to me die, and they smell like cocoa butter lotion. This is one line. It says, I once got an X-ray and saw a spooky skelly.
A spooky skelly.
That's hilarious. Funny.
Is that all it said?
It's just one line. It says, I once got an X-ray and saw a spooky skelly.
Well, that's what X-rays do.
That's awesome. That's just funny. And it's cute enough to make the list, ladies and gentlemen, which is always good here on the portal, because we love us some lists. We loving some lists, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you loving our lists, too. You know, we've actually been at it for 2 hours now.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that
Did you?
About 15 minutes ago.
No, it was apparently we're only a minute over right now, but I thought we had to go till about 10 to make 2 hours, but I guess we didn't start at quite 8, did we? We started before 8.
Okay.
Right, because it's now 9:46 and we're at 2 hours and 1 minute.
Okay, cool.
2 hours and 2 minutes just now, ladies and gentlemen. And the clock keeps ticking. So we hope you're enjoying this. Did you have another story, Don?
Yeah, sure.
Well, just why don't you just read it, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying.
Why don't you share with us, Don? Share with us all.
I certainly will. Let's do this. Let's see here.
Pixie, keep that down.
Read that one. Did I read this one? No.
I don't know.
Okay. Noisy night, barking dog, and voices in the baby monitor. Yeah, I hate that when that happens.
Baby monitors are kind of fun.
Well, they can be, I suppose.
They can be, but they can be kind of fun.
Last night I was playing on my computer in my bedroom for some downtime. The door was open in the living room. I have baby monitors so I can hear the kids. My dog was sitting at my feet. I'm checking emails. Everyone else is asleep. It's quiet. It's peaceful. Suddenly, the dog just starts barking like crazy at the doorway. The hair is standing up on her neck, and she is staring at our open door, barking aggressively but not moving. She looks scared. I get this feeling of dread, but when I look up, I don't see anything in the doorway or living room from where my computer chair is, so I have no idea what she's barking at. I try to convince myself maybe she just heard something outside, but none of my other dogs are barking. They're all sound asleep. I can see them from where I'm sitting. No reaction from any other pet. The dog is freaking out at my doorway in the meantime. I try to get her to hush, but she just growls and barks. She's not backing down, just staring at the doorway. The barking wakes up my husband. He walks through the door to go see what's going on, but doesn't find anything. The dog stops barking as soon as my husband walks through the doorway. She cowers like she's afraid, hops on our bed, shivering and shaking, but doesn't bark the rest of the night. We checked on the kids to make sure that the dog didn't wake anybody up. Luckily, they were both sound asleep. My hubby goes back to sleep, and I finish checking my email. Not long after that, I hear a male voice on the baby monitor say, "Whip her." It freaks me out, so I wake up my hubby and tell him what I heard. We move the kids to our room. I say some prayers, and nothing else happens. Ghost or nighttime sounds? Whipper.
Whipper. Whippersnapper.
I was wondering where that was going to go.
That's all I got. Because it ain't legal to whip her.
Well, you could just go, whip it. Oh, whip it good. Da-da-da-da-da. Sorry.
Yeah, Devo.
Da-da-da-da.
That's right.
Da.
Thanks, Jelly. Jellyfish is a new listener, I think. I don't think I've seen him before.
Jellyfish
Or
has been
her.
around.
He, she? I don't know. Anyway. Glad you're
Heroes.
here.
What? Who's a hero?
Well, we are, apparently.
Oh, well, that's awesome. I'm nobody's hero.
Oh, Don, that's
Just
not
call
true.
me nobody.
Ooh.
I am my own hero.
No trolling for love, Don. You don't need to troll for love here.
No,
love
that's
is free.
True. That's true. That's true.
Love is free.
I can feel it emanating from my left corner panel over here.
North Nottingham Paranormal Investigator says, "Get the buckets and make a chain. The chat's on fire."
Woohoo!
That's awesome. I do like reading the chat. I just can't do it as much as I'd like. I like seeing what everybody's saying.
Yeah, it's hard to catch up because they just go and go and go.
Yeah, it
they
goes
just have
pretty
such
quick.
a good time.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm glad. It's just a reflection of the community.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
community of love we share. But definitely make sure you're spreading the word about the portal, ladies and gentlemen, because we want it to be always growing and bigger, better, greater than it's ever been. So, Julia says you're her hero, Don.
Wow.
We love you all, too. LJD, good to see you. I'm just looking at who's all in here, and there's quite a few.
Yeah, wow.
There is lots and lots.
Oh, yeah.
28 people, Don.
28.
28, brother.
Bet you can't name them all.
Can't what?
Can't name them all.
No, I can't, because, a lot of times... I can if I click the gear, and I think it's possible for me
Can
to
you
see.
really?
I think so.
I'm jealous.
Participants, I think. Manage moderators, participants. I think so. Let me click this. If the stream ends, I'm sorry. Let me just say that up front, but before I start clicking stuff.
He hung up on you.
If the stream ends, thanks for joining us. We had a thrilling time. Be good to each other, be kind, and we'll see you on Friday night. But I don't think that should happen.
No, I probably won't. Oh, participants here.
Oh. Yeah, but this is only
Oh,
1,
but
2,
that's-
3,
there's only
4,
a
5,
couple.
6, me, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Because that's just chat, huh?
Hmm.
Let's see here if there's something else. Yeah, you should be able to see this too, right? Yeah, you can. As a moderator. Huh. I don't know. I thought it was possible to
weird.
see everybody that was watching it.
Shucks.
Label slow mode. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Lady
most of
Death,
the
how
time.
do you do that?
What is she doing?
Was it Lady Death? No, it was Vamp. No, it was Vamp. Vamp, how do you do that?
Is
God, I
Vamp
get you
still
guys.
here?
I get you guys mixed up a lot. I'm sorry. Wow.
I don't think Vamp's been in here for a while, though. I thought was she going to bed, or no,
Did she
Lady
peace out
Death?
already?
She bet not
I
have.
don't know. She bet not have.
She bet not have left us here. I don't know. I'm not sure.
The riffraff.
We're all
Nobody's
riffraff. It's great, and I just love watching what people say. It's just so cool. Because I'm usually reading stories. I can never sit and just relax during the chat. In fact, my normal ritual is every day after we do a show, I wake up, make the coffee, and come up to the studio, and I sit here and I watch the chat then for whatever we had, on the night before. Because it's just, I just normally can't look at all of it. And even then I end up missing some of it, but at least I catch more of it then. Because I get sidetracked all the time. It's just my way, ladies and gentlemen. But I don't know.
Good night, Dory.
Dory, you going?
Apparently.
I guess we're kind of at about the 2-hour mark. What are you saying, brother?
Yeah, because we got going late. And
Well, it's just I had such a...
yeah.
I got done mowing the lawn. My kid shoved a peanut in his nose. I had to go to the emergency room and came back. I'm pretty pooped.
Yeah, I understand.
But it's not for lack of love, because I love you all and you guys are amazing. And we will be back on Friday night. So I hope you're here. But again, the Friday, Saturday shows are 10 p.m. Pacific time. And of course, the Wednesday YouTube only stream is 7 p.m. usually, although it was closer to 8 tonight.
And we thank you for everybody hanging out, waiting for us. Taz and Sarah and Pix and Lady Death they just popped right in when the stream started.
It was
going.
awesome.
I was like, I couldn't even get in here fast enough.
Mackinstood. Okay, that's a new one. Mackinstood. Nice to meet you. Glad you're here. Thank you for being here. If anybody else wants a shout out, just say something in the chat so I know you're here. But to all of you, either acknowledged or not, we love you.
We do.
But we'll be back on Friday night and, of course, Saturday night. And so look for us then. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Again, it's Hump Day's Eve.
Hi, Kurt. How are you?
It should all be downhill. Kurt,
he's
how you doing?
Hey,
oh, great, Kurt. Thanks for being here.
Hey.
Thanks for finding us. No extra 15 minutes to
Not
half
tonight.
hour more.
Not tonight. That was a special little gift for all those newbies that came in the other night. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It really was really cool. Well, it was for all of you guys, of course,
But
too.
that's supposed to be like the secret track at the end of the show.
Yeah, you can't. If you guys, if we do it every time, then it's just not special anymore. It's just the regular show.
You know what they say? If everybody's special,
nobody's
special.
Clever.
Thank you.
Little Incredibles.
I
All right,
rode the
guys.
short bus.
Love you bunches. Thank you so much. I'm going to roll the credits and
have a great rest of the week. We'll see you Friday and Saturday.
We'll see you then, guys. I hope we see you then. Please come back.
Yeah.
Be a part of it. We'll be here waiting.
We love you so much.
Love.
Hugs and kisses till the next time. Oh, goodness. Now I'm losing it.
Yeah.
Okay, roll that beautiful beat.
Losing
footage.
it. It's lost. It's not losing.
It's been gone.
All right. We'll see you guys later. Take care. Be good and be kind to each other. And again, we'll be back Friday, Saturday night, and spread the word. And you can follow us as well on YouTube or on Facebook, rather, facebook.com/Paranormal Portal Radio. Wow. You can find Don Longbeard and Brent Thomas on MeWe and Facebook.
Yep.
And
I posted the after party chat link in there, so if you're in MeWe, come see us.
All right. Love you all. Take care. Be good, be kind, be nice, and we'll see you on Friday night. Until next time.